Hello, everyone, and welcome to our exciting world-changing Help Save Our World online speakers group. I'm Denis Moore, sometimes called Denis the Teacher, the creator of the Help Save Our World organization and the People's Movement for Fundamental Change in Our World. And now we're creating this wonderful, incredible Help Save Our World Speakers Forum to bring people's voices and the voices of the voiceless ones to the people of the world. If we change our conversations, we change our world. I will be your host for this evening. I will present each week a guiding speech and teach valuable lessons based on my quest. So these meetings will be like an open forum to some degree, and yet guided with the sole purpose to help save our world, humanity, and all life on Earth, and to provide a sustainable future for our children. So let's begin with our brief introductions, starting from Kurt at the top.
Thanks for making me the first and the earliest in the morning on a Sunday in Southwest Florida. So let's see, just a quick introduction. I'm a semi-retired educator. Denis and I have known each other on and off for, I guess, about 7 or 8 years or so, and we've been in contact on lots of things that are important to us, and I think certainly save the world and creating something that is sustainable for us human beings and the other entities that share the planet with us is absolutely the most critical thing we could be doing with our lives when we have some extra minutes. So I honor the concept here and the group that's starting to form and what we're up to. And I look to bring whatever I can as far as my philosophy, my commitment, my heartfelt desires, and as much as I can, my non-political but very political viewpoint that there needs to be no politics, there needs to be hearts involved in what we're doing in our daily life and activities. So I'll leave it there, and I'm sure I'll have more to say as I get woken up this morning and hear more about what you folks have to say. So pleasure to be here with you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kurt. Now, let's go up to you, John.
Good morning, everyone. My name is John Labriola. I was invited by Denis to join this group to find out more about his ideas, and also an invitation to share some of my ideas about how we can save the world. I'm not sure if the world is really going away anytime soon, but hey, saving the world sounds like a good idea anyway, because after all, what world are we saving other than our own right now in our lifetimes? Who really cares about the world 1,000 years from now? But hey, what about this world we live in right now? So I'm looking forward to hearing more about what Denis has to say about that. Thank you.
Thanks, John. That was awesome. Now we'll go to Diana.
Hi, Denis. Thank you. My name is Diane Perry, and I have a nonprofit that's called Earthian Stewardship that I'm trying to bring about to help save the world. And it is to find ways that we all share information that allows us to do things that will heal the earth. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this format brings about and the conversations, and hopefully we'll all make contributions that make each other's lives better.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Diane. Captain Kirk.
My name's Kirk Young. I'm an ex-farmer from Moy River, originally from Scotland. And went into the tech world, followed Dad in all the tech and whatnots, and moved up to Richards Bay and was reconnected with nature once I arrived in Richards Bay. It's a beautiful place here. If you're ever this side of the world, please come visit us. And then I met Denis a couple of months back, and we realized that, I realized that his research that he's completed is the research I wanted to start. And so therefore I joined his movement because we have got to save this planet not only for ourselves, but for our children. If we don't, she's not going to last much longer. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. That's great. Now, Alex and Brendan are here in the room. They can't come online because my internet connection is so terrible. So let me welcome Alex, my daughter.
Hi, everybody. Nice to be here. Nice to meet you. I hope you're all well and having a great time. Yeah, my dad is an inspiration to me and to the life I live. My main focus for the future is to develop the self-sustaining eco-villages and training centers for people to connect back with nature at the end of the day. So that's where I plan my life to go. Currently, I'm researching different ways to incorporate the ideas that the stuff that we do on a daily basis and make it simpler and bring it home so that I'm able to teach my son and my family how to incorporate the simple things in life and enjoy them.
Thank you,
Thank you
so much, Alex. Just to give you some idea of what some of the things that Alex has been doing with her son, just to bring handcrafts into our daily lives. Can you see? It's a dream. She made this especially for me. It's a dream catcher, and this she made with her son out of painted paper, and she made a mobile today, which is absolutely incredible. All right, Brendan.
Hello everyone, my name is Brendan. I got introduced to Dennis through his daughter, which is my fiance, about a year and a half to 2 years ago now. And I promise you it's been the best 2 years of my life. My life has changed for the better, I might say. I used to be a very destructive person, but when I met Dennis and he brought this whole project and speech into my life, basically it transformed my whole life to make me into the better person that I am today. I've become more attached to the people around me. I have transpired to help start this project, although I don't do the main part of it. But Dennis is a very big inspiration, and I know this project will go very far. Thank you.
Thanks, Brendan. That was great. So let me take you on a thought journey. When I think of the best possible future, I think of Shangri-La, Utopia, Paradise, the Garden of Eden. When I think of the best movie of all time, I think of Avatar, with its indigenous people living in love, balance, and harmony with their natural world. And then the corporate greed, money, power, technology, war machines, thoughtlessly destroying it all. And then the people coming together and rising up to protect their world. Then I remember the Amazon basin as it was, and its indigenous people living in harmony with their man-made food forest. Then my thoughts go to the pristine natural African bush, the Congo jungle in northern Rhodesia, where I was born and raised. Then I remember our sustainable eco-village on the foothills of the Drakensberg Mountains, where I grew up. I remember the pristine natural bush on the coast, where I grew up camping and swimming and surfing and life-saving. I remember the crystal clear and naturally colored oceans, and squatting down and lying on the warm rocks, gazing into thriving rock pools for hours on end. They were full of tropical fish, seaweed, dogfish, crabs, shellfish, sponges, sea anemones, squid. It was incredible for a child to experience such beauty. Then I remember snorkeling around abundant coral reefs with beautiful, colored, exquisite tropical fish, sea ferns, small fish naively, trustingly, playfully coming up to check me out. I remember the natural swamps wetlands of Durban and Richards Bay, mangrove forests when I was young. All of these were breeding grounds for life, but are now gone. I remember the swarms of swallows catching flying ants as a child. I remember the abundance of life, insects, bumblebees, bees, dragonflies, birds, chameleons, buck, meerkat, guinea fowl. Life thrived in abundance all around me. I remember seeing the flowing rivers as the veins of the continent that sustained life downstream. Then I think of the smiling, happy community of faces, of loving, truth-speaking people, working happily together to provide an abundance for all of us. I remember learning a love of nature from playing outside, from my parents, the Zulu chief and his wives. Then my thoughts go to proven sustainable systems, natural agriculture, developed by Masanobu Fukuoka in Japan, permaculture. Bill Mollison created this permaculture by design, polyculture, growing multiple different species of life. And I think of their water and food security and abundant sustainable systems. This is the technology of the future. Then I think of the Green School in Indonesia, where the children are raised barefoot, walking around in the mud, to be one with nature. And I wonder why we do not live sustainably anymore. Now, most of us intuitively know that there's something wrong with our world and dread the obvious future if we do not do something about it. Then there are many more of us who know we have been lied to, manipulated, deceived, distracted by the people in power for the sake of power. And many more are tired of the continuously repeating, mind-controlling, manipulated conversations of government and media. Those that are even more aware know that we are racing on a train of thought and behavior towards the cliff of extinction. However, how many of you know what we can do about it? Do you know? My question is, if we know what is possible, and we know the consequences of continuing on within this paradigm is the extinction of all life on Earth, wouldn't it be a good idea to change our way of life? Yes? No? Continuing to think of our civilized way of life, I feel sad for all of the children trapped every day in schoolrooms, indoctrination boxes. I sense the negative energy of the people who exist throughout their unhappy, unhealthy lives, working as wage slaves for corporations in cities, moving from box to box their whole lives, many of them only existing for the afterlife and then dying just to be put in a box. Then I feel the unhappiness of many of the anxious, depressed, and stressed and addicted people who have asked me for help in their lives, many of whom I've made an enormous difference in their lives. However, my second wife, Sharon, was one I could not save. Unable to fit into this sick world, and after many years of addiction, she died of a pharmaceutical drug overdose and alcohol. Having suffered the relentless abuses of policemen while living in my car for a year, I feel for the homeless people in the cities. I feel the pain of the people and nature in war zones, and the pain, anguish, suffering of the displaced, disempowered survivors who are existing in squalor in refugee camps, having lost their families, their possessions, their relationships, and their basic human rights to land, food, and water. Suffering the effects of war and being disempowered, these desperate people become dependent on the perpetrators of the crimes, thus falling prey to the empire builders who started the wars in the first place for the centralization of power. Then I think of all of the destructive methods that are being used to bring about change in our world. Wars, coups d'etats, revolutions, riots. Then I think, what a waste of time and energy destroying to rebuild again. It's pointless, because that way we never really change. If you do not change the way people think and live their lives, they will continue to create the same problems again and again. Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. And fighting against problems really solve them either. Only by changing the hearts and the minds of people do we change our world. With this in mind, I think it's much better to build metaphorical bridges from where we are to where we need to be, from who we are to who we need to become, from dead money and dead things to growing, living, and naturally multiplying systems that provide abundance, from an unsustainable way of life to a sustainable one, to transition from a fear of scarcity, hate, and plundering paradigm to a connected, giving and receiving, love and abundance-based paradigm. From an unsustainable, ignorant, world-destroying paradigm to a sustainable paradigm and a world beyond this age of ignorance. So let's use what we have to create the future we want. Instead of using technology for wars and profits, let's use it to create the future we deserve. Then I think of how to get back to the freedom of living happy, healthy, and sustainable lives. I think of creating sustainable teaching eco-villages, where we raise our children to know the truth and natural wisdom of nature and how to live as one with it. Then I think of these wise, thinking, connecting, caring, sharing communities spread out across the land and across our world, where we nurture life all around us and regrow the love-based world, regrowing these life-sustaining biodiverse ecosystems where people thrive by living in love, balance, and harmony with them. Then I think of reclaiming our freedom from the rich. I think of empowering people with water and food security while living spread out on the land. But how do we get there? Well, it is a journey of thought, questioning, and personal change to get there. And that is what we are doing right here now, creating that thought journey. Now remember, it took 14,000 years to get into this mess we're in, and we have one generation left to fix it. I know that seems impossible, but it isn't, because we have luck on our side. Yes, the leaders and the owners and the governments and the religions and the media who control people and who seem to have the power are not really the holders of the power. Truth be told, we, the people, are the power. And it's we, the people, who give them the power. It is our energy, our labor, our actions that they control to get what they want. So it's important to remember that we have the ability to take back our power, to create a thriving future. Yes, we are the most powerful living force of change on this planet. Do you agree with me? However, if we do not know the truth and know what is happening, what will we choose to do with that power? To know this, we have to be willing to become uncomfortable and step out of our societally induced coma. Then choose to let go of our old values and beliefs and choose to think and question everything. As we begin to see what's happening, you will choose to be driven by love and not fear. You'll have to decide to open your hearts and minds and use reasonable logic and go on a quest for the truth to find out what, why, when, where, and how it all happened. You will gather skills to ask the big questions. Question all of the holy cows and know the truth when you hear it. Being open and willing to go there, you will clearly see the obvious truth. Although dealing with the truth will not be easy, especially the realization that you have been lied to your whole life and you are living that lie. Then realizing your life was stolen from you. Even worse is when you realize that you're part of the problem. Then even harder is changing yourself and your way of life once you realize that you need to change. People complain when I show them the truth. Don't show me that, it upsets me. Seeing the truth, you must feel the pain, the anguish of that intimate knowledge of what is going on in your world. Suffering is an important part of healing. The more pain you feel, the more you will be driven to heal yourself and our world. If you don't suffer, you will do nothing. It's the story of the slow-boiled frogs. Those that you raise the temperature slowly will just stay and die. Those that you throw into boiling hot water will jump. You need to feel the pain. So the more shocking the knowledge, the better. Don't look away. Don't ignore the truth. Face it, look at it, see it, listen to it, feel it, and know it. Feel upset, feel the pain. Be appalled by it, and then choose to heal it. Change your own life and step up and be heard and make the difference you were born to make in this world. You can only make a difference if you journey and quest to acquire the truth, knowledge, skills, and wisdom which you need to make better choices, and then share it with the world, with your voice through this forum. You, me, and the rest of humanity, thus empowered, will make better choices, do things differently, and thus manifest a better future, while freeing ourselves from the indoctrination, the distractions, the addictions, the fear, the hatred, the ignorance. Thus freed and empowered, we can choose either to continue to be stuck in our fears, or we can step up as mature adults of our times and do something to ensure we survive this fast approaching calamity and continue to thrive into the future. The choice is yours. Once you know the truth and have the knowledge and skills and wisdom, it's up to you. The truth will set you free. What a revolutionary idea. Not what the religions say or what's in the Bible, just the truth will set you free. What we are in search of here are speakers of truth. No matter how uncomfortable it makes you feel, as members of this group, we are the people's voice and the voice of the voiceless ones. We are the people who create the conversations for the Help Save Our World People's Movement for fundamental change. There's a great need for this because modern monopolized media, corporations, schooling, governments, religions, they all control the thoughts and the hearts and minds of people and the lives of people by controlling the conversations. They do this for the benefit of a few at the expense of everyone else and all life on earth. So now is the time for the people of the world to get to speak out for humanity, life, nature, sustainability, our children's futures, and the ecological systems of our worldwide environment, which we depend upon for life. Talk about the air we breathe, the water we drink, the lands we live on, plant life, microorganisms, insects, animals, life, the environment, and your personal environmental energy. Let's be the voices of the poor and disempowered, the voices of nature, because these are the unspoken stories, the unheard conversations, which aren't on the minds and the lips of civilized people. This ignorance is happening because of institutionalized thought, mind, and behavior controlling systems like schooling, media, governments, corporations, religions, which are in the business of lies, deception, indoctrination, and distraction. We are looking for people who are concerned with what is happening in our world now. People who are interested in learning, growing, and changing themselves and our world with the fundamental purpose to help save our world. We're not looking for negative complainers with a victim's mentality. We're looking for inspiring, positive, and passionate people who tell the truth and spread hope. People who are willing to present these problems, seek solutions, and create calls to action, and who are willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen. The necessity for the people's and nature's voice is because we all know that the world is in catastrophic trouble and the institutions have the loudest voices, which they use to distract us, lie to us, hide the truth from us, and deceive us for the sake of power. These institutions are fundamentally broken. Money, politics, governments, war machines, policing, prisons, agriculture, religions, corporations, banking, stock exchanges, modern medicine, education are all built upon an unsustainable paradigm, which is based on negative values and beliefs, and are taking continuous growth pyramid schemes. These institutions are fundamentally flawed because they are founded on the abstract ideas and lies and deception of the plundering paradigm, which is designed for the benefit of a few at the expense of all of us and all of nature. We should have realized by now that if we do not change the way we think and live our lives, we are facing imminent total environmental and ecological collapses. We are facing financial, political, and social collapses. As we all should know, pyramid schemes only grow when there's something to take and plunder. When there's nothing more, the forests are gone, the jungles are gone, there's nothing more left but a dead world. Pyramid schemes collapse, just like civilizations rise and fall. What is the point of monopolizing everything to extinction? Those in power must see what is coming. However, the institutions, businesses, corporations mindlessly carry on, striving for yields and profits as if there was no end to the resources. As we are living on a limited planet, and we don't have any more other planets to expand to, all of this is going to come to an end very quickly. And we need to regrow what has been destroyed. It is time to awaken, time to become aware of what is happening in our world and around us, and put a stop to this insanity before it is too late. To do this, we have to bring the conversation to the people of the world, and we need to speak together as one voice and bring the fundamental life and world transforming changes to our world. So this discussion group might have small beginnings, but can make the difference we need now to ensure we have a future which is an age of reason beyond this age of ignorance. Are you interested in creating a happy, healthy, and sustainable future where we all thrive and spread out across the planet, spreading and growing the seeds of thought and life everywhere? Just a warning. It's really important to always keep up your guard. Not everything that is written in black and white is true. Not everything that you hear or see on media is true. So you need to keep a healthy skepticism, because the dominant owners and families and bankers and corporations cannot be trusted, and they will not let go of their power easily. We, the people of the world, not only need to take back the conversation, we need to take responsibility for our lives and our world. And we need to speak the unspeakable. We need to challenge the holy cows, ask the forbidden questions, find the truth and the answers to our problems, because those answers are there if only you want to hear and know them. Then we need to find the fundamental causes, like right at the essence, the beginning of whatever growth has been put in place, and fix and change them so we can once and for all solve the fundamental problems, which are the root causes of the problems we face now. Picking up garbage will not solve the garbage problem. Trying to fix our world's problems from inside the box will never work. Arguing religion from within the Bible, you will never come up with a solution. We have to gain many different perspectives, like aliens from outer space, looking down with the perspective of, what are you doing, humans? We need geological perspectives, anthropological, scientific, ecological perspectives. We need to be able to see the big picture, and even then, we must question the values and beliefs of each one of those paradigms. Why is science so biased towards materialism? We need to ask those questions and find answers. Seeing clearly, we know lies can only become lies. No matter how you expand them or justify them, those lies will just become bigger lies. If a system is built upon male-dominated dictatorship, fear of scarcity, blind belief, ignorance, elitism, division, private property ownership, and centralization of wealth and power, pyramid schemes, based on abstract ideas and deception, it can only become what it is designed to become. And you can't fix it by changing laws or voting. Those things will not fix those problems. They are systemic problems. You see, like wild animals in many indigenous cultures, we need to live in a world based on truth, love, balance, and harmony, while thriving for a happy, healthy, and sustainable future age of reason. Truth can only be built upon truth. So if you want to live in a world grown on truth, we have to begin by telling the truth, be authentic, living and being and speaking the truth. Being an open book, transparency, no secrets, no abstract ideas, no lies, and no deception. You see, love can only be built upon love. A world built upon love, compassion, consideration, mutual respect, caring, sharing, and maintaining the balance of nature and living in harmony with all life will produce the future we deserve to live in. If we want a future, we need to remove ourselves from the sick, destructive paradigm and create the future we need. Change the way we think and what we speak about. We change our way of life and change the world. So, what I'm proposing through this forum is to create the conversations that promote and awaken the people of the world to what went wrong and how to change it, by taking them on our journeys, your life's journeys, what you're experiencing every day, to create that awareness of the truth and the natural wisdom necessary to live sustainable lives into the future. You do this by going on your own thought journeys, dealing with your everyday problems, to raise your own awareness, consciousness, and to change your life. As you change and transition into that future vision, then being one step ahead of the others, you'll be showing people of the world how to do the same. The idea is to guide people who are on this journey towards enlightenment, to life's mastery. So this is about helping ourselves and others on a journey back to themselves, to their true nature, the journey back to health and happiness, the journey back to personal and environmental health and sustainability, the journey back to love from fear, the journey to the natural wisdom of the world and the universe, the journey back to love-based values and beliefs, which we teach our children, then promptly forget about and ignore as adults. I'm proposing a life based on abundance, which we can create for everyone if we want it badly enough. We all face major journeys, which might seem impossible, like the journey to reclaim semi-desert and desert regions. But our technological power and the hands and minds of 7.5 billion people must not be underestimated. It is a journey back to regrowing and repairing the environmental damage we have been creating, a journey back to reforestation, a journey back to no more pollution. It is a journey back to regrowing coral reefs and reclaiming the swamplands and protecting our oceans, the lands, the waters, from mindless profit-seeking corporations. A journey back to allowing the veins of the continents to flow. A journey back to all of the natural balances which we need to survive and thrive. We all have the ability to create a happy, healthy, sustainable future, but now is our time. So are you going to be willing to contribute to the conversation? Are you willing to listen, learn, and grow? Do you want to make a meaningful difference in our world? Are you willing to open your hearts and your minds and willing to trust the process and grow through personal changes you will face? Are you ready and willing to make it happen? Or are you just going to continue to ride that train of thought of empire, infected by the thought plague, to the cliff of extinction, and going to continue to complain that you're the victim of what's happening in the world? Or are you going to accept the one world government as a dictatorship over all life as we go over that cliff of extinction? The choices are yours. Either you join us or not. The future is in your hands. There is an argument that if you look at the problems, you give them your energy and you make them worse. If you're going to war to fight and fix problems, I would say that's true. However, if you're looking at the problems to see the trends and the extent of the problem and to gather insights and information on what to do and how to change it, I think it's beneficial to look at them. You see, we're the responsible adults of our generation. We are the living representatives of all life right now on this planet. We are the carriers of the baton of life. So there's no avoiding our responsibility. It's up to us if life goes on or not. So if we don't do something now to create a better future for all life on this planet, then shame on us. Either you care about your children's futures and our world and do something to create that future, or you don't. No one can force you to step up and make a difference. However, if you don't, like it or not, all of us will either live, suffer more, or die because of the consequences of your actions or inactions. So do you choose to be a responsible adult of our time or not? With all of this in mind, let's change the conversation. Let's take responsibility for our thoughts, actions, lives, and change the world we're manifesting around us. If you're not ready right now, no one can force you to choose, so good luck on your journey. But remember, when you are ready, We're waiting for you to join us because we need you now. So please feel welcome to join the conversation and our Help Save Our World movement and help us bring fundamental change to our world. Remember, now is your time to speak up or remain silent and become extinct. Remember, we the people have the power to help save our world together. And it is now or never. So it is time for you to rise up and speak for the change you were born to create in this world, because we can help save our world together.